What's up, y'all? This is Michael Keith of the infamous Group 112, and this is the BKS Experience. You already know how I'm coming over to give you that hey, on the back of BKS Experience going down now. Listen, you already know.
You are the best kept secret in the universe.
All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the BKS Experience. Yours truly, Mr. Live to Inspire, Eddie Brown.
That's right. And I'm celebrity photographer Ty Waterman. And I have the privilege of introducing this phenomenal, my words are, I want to say underrated, but to me, not underrated at the same time, powerful voice in R&B.
Yes.
He is 1/2 or 1/4, depending on what number you go by right now, of 112, where the players dwell. So, Michael Keith, what's up?
Yes, sir. Michael Keith.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. So we're going to get into it. This is the BKS Experience, and we're going to talk about some things going around the world, your life a little bit. Then I'm going to have to hit you with the trivia, see if I got to pull your card or not. So
I'm ready.
Let's kick it off. How long have you been with 112?
Been with 112 for 30 years, man. 30 plus years.
30 years. So since you was 10 years old, 11 years old?
Around 14 years old. 14 years old.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's a long time, man.
Yes, sir.
What about music got you excited about doing a group? Because correct me if I'm wrong, vocally I hear that church voice in there somewhere.
Yeah, it was the church was definitely an influence. However, it wasn't the main influence. And I know with me saying that, a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? You sound like you came straight from the church. Honestly, man, a whole lot of singing in church, man. Like I grew up in a Methodist church, and that it's straight by the book. You know what I mean? Said like glory to the Father. So it wasn't really all of that, man. So where I found my voice in it was when I started listening to the secular music, the Donny Hathaways, the Stevie Wonders, and things of that nature, man. And where I found like, hey, these guys sound gospelly, but they're singing secular music, so I can do this. You know what I mean? So because I knew it wasn't coming from gospel, but it definitely was gospel influence. So, once I realized what my voice was capable of incapable of doing, I was, able to just navigate through that, man. But that's pretty much, where it all originated from, man. And music to me is everything, man. It gets in my system. I don't want to say worse. That's a bad word. But it is more than anything else in this world, man. Like it permeated through my system, man. So that's where the music, that's the influence.
That's dope. Where do you see it, like, the difference now? Because now if you see a 14-year-old, either they made it off of that one hit versus, you starting out, with a group or just starting off at that young age. What do you see the differences now from the music back then into how it transitioned?
Well, music from the music now versus back then, I would say that the subject matter is very different nowadays. Today we live in this instant gratification world. You know what I mean? And it's basically it's testament to where we are as a society. You know how music is, man. It's basically, when everything was going on in 1991, we got grunge. You know what I mean? And
right.
Kurt Cobain and so, for example. So with our music, it goes along with the times and stuff, man. In the generation, in the society that we live in, everything is instamatic. It's instant gratification. So everything everything happens quick, fast, and in a hurry. There's no time to sit back and enjoy anything anymore. It's from the music that I'm hearing, like in this tantamount to what's going on in society as well. Whereas in the 90s, even though that was going on as well, with the advent of social media, it just catapulted, further to where everything is just so instant. You know what I mean? And so a hit now, 5 months from now, it's not going to be hit, but the next, going to be a hit, but the next hit, just happens. It's just it's a different world that we live in, man. So I would say that the subject matter and the way that music is delivered to the masses is one of the things that varies differently than what it was in the 1990s, man. So we took our time back in the 90s. You know what I mean?
Oh
Versus
yeah,
now,
for sure.
yeah, we just took our time back in the 90s, man. You know?
That's dope. The knowing like musically the way that it has grown from that slow, that love, that thoughtful music to like they just straight in the bed, straight using the raunchy part of it. It's a big difference,
Right.
you know. And but musically, you guys always held it down, even if you were going straight to the edge and letting them know you still vocally held it down and musically held it down. For me personally, it's definitely an honor to. I've met you multiple times, shot pictures of you multiple times, and now doing this. Um, some people that know me, I used to be in a singing group. It was called The Best Kept Secret. So back in the high school days. So
Okay.
some of the stuff saying, I hear it,
Right.
I see some parallels in like how your group, has their ups and the downs and everything.
Absolutely.
In fact, one of the biggest talent shows we did in our city in Hartford, Connecticut, it was called Hartford's Heads Held High.
Okay.
We sang 112 Only You.
Okay.
We didn't win. We didn't, but that was because when the track played, the guy didn't play the instrumental. He played the actual version with Biggie on it,
Oh,
and the whole auditorium went crazy because Biggie had just passed,
right.
and we won the crowd over. But judges wise, it wasn't original because we were singing over the track.
Right.
You know, and one of my boys in the group, he's like a huge dude, Elliot. When he heard the rap verse, he just started doing Biggie part, and that's what went crazy. So, but
Nice.
really, for fans, knowing the social media aspect, that people are able to get in contact directly with these artists. For you? How did that change the game?
It definitely changed the game. And let me go back to, you guys performing or whatever. Like that showed initiative, and it also showed innovation and resourcefulness for you guys to, that's what they teach us. And, of course, being in a group, you would notice like when something adverse happens on stage, you can't act like, it was something wrong. You got to keep going.
Just keep going.
And the
Yeah.
fact that you guys, kept going or whatever, man, that's, that speaks volumes of, you guys and your professionalism, man. So, my hat's off to that. The social media, the DMs, the being able to contact us. Let me tell you, man, when I was a kid, I would have loved to have been able to reach out to Boyz II Men and Jodeci and Take Six and commissioned, back then, because those were the people that, I wanted to learn from. Because I emulated them, you know what I mean? Like I was big fans of all of them, and I wanted to know that, but it's something to be said about, and I'm still trying to figure out whether or not it's a good or a bad thing where, we have humanized the celebrity. And what I mean by that is like we used to be looked at in such a light that like people almost believe that, we weren't really real. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So it's good in the sense that, we've been humanized so people can understand like, okay, if we don't feel like taking a picture that day, then you understand that, okay, we're just having a bad day. You know what I mean? But on the flip side of that too, people can get very familiar with you and feel like supposed to do this because I bought a record from you, 10 years ago, and you're supposed to do this. And if you don't do that, now I completely hate everything that you've done. You know what I mean? And it's like, Jesus Christ, like where did we get to a point where when it came to celebrities that it was either or with people? When in any other part of the world, you have the ability of choice. You have the gift of choice. But with us, either you signed this autograph that day, or you signed this picture, or you took a picture with me, or you're the worst person that ever lived on life, in life, and that's where, it's I'm still trying to figure out whether or not being as accessible as we are nowadays, if that's a good or bad thing. In some instances, I guess, yes, it would be a good thing because, I had the privilege of, meeting you guys and being able to speak with you guys and doing something productive. But on the flip side, man, it's like people, there are some wicked and evil-minded people and mean-spirited people who, for example, and we can get into it, the fact that 112 is myself and Slim, we've been taking the brunt of a lot of the negative energy that comes our way because we're still at the forefront. We're claiming 112. We're still out, of keeping the brand alive. And as a result of that, we get the majority of the vitriol. I don't know what Q and Deron gets, but I know for us, because everything that we do has 112 on it, people automatically come towards us and say, look, man, it was y'all fault, and, making us seem like we're the bad guys for, the fact that it's only 2 guys in the group, man. And it, for them, they don't understand what it really means. Like, I could have had a great day. I could have had a great day in the studio. I could have just secured some kind of sponsorship deal or whatever. And I know we're not supposed to be this sensitive, but artists we are. And somebody could DM me, y'all stupid for letting your group go, or why can't y'all as black men get it together and all this other stuff. As if we hadn't tried our best to make sure that we could figure something out and work something out. That was the most insulting thing on planet Earth. Like, you're insulting my intelligence to the point where you feel that I didn't do enough to keep my group together. That's been you guys' R&B group for the last 24 years. Come on, man. You know what I mean? So when I get stuff like that, man, it kind of, it's not supposed to affect me, because like I said before, man, before we started recording, like, I've been signed to Bad Boy, like, I seen it all. But at this point in the game, man, like, it still messes with me, man. I would be lying if I said it didn't mess with us, if it didn't mess with me, because it did. Because it's like, bro, all we're doing is supplying you guys with music, and why are we the scapegoat, why are we the punching bag, if you will, for whatever's going on in your life, you know what I mean? But yeah, social media, the DMs being as accessible, I'm still trying to figure out whether or not it's a good or a bad.
That's what's up. So while we're on this, before we get into more with you and Slim now, as far as stories, I know when we travel, me and Ty, we do a lot of the concerts and events in the local region, East Coast. Of course, had about 3 or 4 times that we got to see you guys. He tells a lot of stories about his high school group. So I want to know you, as far as the most memorable experience that you've had with the group and in your whole journey in this music career. What's the most memorable experience that you can, or a nice story that you can share?
I can give you a nice story, man. Like, I'm gonna give you the actual origin of 112.
Okay.
We actually were like, the 4 of us was in the choir, and we had a music teacher, and this is a funny thing. Her name was Mildred Fawcett. If you can believe it, it's the craziest thing, man. So it's all this stuff was destined, bro. So in the classroom, like, I was in the tenor section. Deron was like in the baritone section. Slim was like in the alto, because he had the falsetto, and I think Q was in the tenor section with me as well. And we knew that vocally we were superior to everybody else in the class. So when we would hear other people sing or attempt to sing, it'd be the funniest thing on planet Earth, man. Like, we're listening to these dudes, and we just busting out laughing, man. And so it got to a point where the teacher got so upset, Miss Fawcett got so upset. She was like, you know what? Since y'all laughing, since y'all think y'all are, so much better than everybody else, y'all got an assignment. You got to sing at this program that we have in 2 weeks. And if you don't sing it, you're going to get an F for the whole semester. So we were like, bro, wait a minute. Like, no, we were just playing around. Like, we didn't really want to do this. So she was like, no, I want the 4 of you to get up here, and I want y'all to sing whatever song y'all want. It has to be a love song, and you can't gyrate. You can't, do none of that stuff, man. But you got to sing a record. And at the time, the intro version of Ribbon in the Sky was out. And so we was like, you know what? We're going to sing that song, man, because Deron played the keys, and he knew Ribbon in the Sky. We would sing that all the time. So we were like, man, this is easy money right here, man. And then one of us, I don't remember which one, because she said specifically, if one of y'all gyrate, then we, like hump or, whatever that is, like, y'all going to get in trouble. So I think it was me that said it, man. I was like, you know what, man, we're going to do it. We just go, like on one part, I said, man, screw it. We just going to hump, man. I was like, man, we're going to in for a penny, in for a pound, right? So we went in there and we sang, oh, so long for the night I pray, not alone will go away. And the crowd just went crazy, because they just knew that, because we had been going around singing in the high school and everything. And so they knew that we could sing. And then when we finally started hitting them with the harmonies and all that stuff, man, they were like, yo, we got something special with these guys, man. And then you could see my teacher, she was looking over on the side, and she was just smiling. She was just like, yeah, these my boys. Yeah, they ain't going to do nothing wrong. They ain't going to gyrate. They ain't going to hump. They ain't going to do nothing. And as soon as we got to this part on the intro record, it goes dun 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 dun. It modulates to that higher key, right? It goes dun 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 dun. So we did the hump. So we was like, bam, bam, bam,
Wow,
bam,
right
bam,
on the beat.
right on the beat. She slid from one side of the bench all the way down to the other bench, and she gave us the illest death beam, bro, like you could, bro. Like she was looking at us like, oh, I'm gonna kill y'all as soon as we, as soon as the program is over, I'm gonna kill y'all. And so we had to go before the principal the next day. We had to get in front of the class and get on the speaker and just tell everybody we apologize for doing it and this, that, and the other, man. But at that point, we was like, bro, we got something, man. We got something. We started doing talent shows after that, and that pretty much, was the origin of 112. It really,
Dope.
it wasn't like we had intended on, just being this R&B group or whatever, man. But it's like we knew that we had something special. We saw it at the school, just in a high school, singing "Ribbon in the Sky." We knew that, we had something special. So that was funny to us, man. But yeah, we got in trouble for that, like detention, almost suspended. Well, almost got suspended, but it was like detention, and but it was worth it, totally worth it. I'd do it again.
Dope. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That whole the memories of singing just for the fun of it, singing for the love of it, and then the change where money gets involved and all kinds of other things gets involved. For you, how does dealing with that now, I don't know, how does it, either affect you in what you're doing now versus back in the day? Because just to kind of, like I said, there's parallels for me. I remember singing on the buses, doing the talent shows, pulling up in the middle of a festival or something and just doing our thing. But then when it changed and contracts and things got on the line and me wanting to go somewhere else or me wanting to hold on, but being the oldest of the group, there was a breaking point too, and it was like, you can't keep doing this if y'all not trying to ove it together. For you, how does that affect you?
Okay. Right. So for me, now that I'm older and I'm wiser, I've learned that this is the music business. Like I heard it a million times. But it wasn't until I got into like maybe part 3 that I realized that it was the music business. You know what I mean? Like it like this, us singing, that plays like a minor part in the totality of what the business aspect of it is. And you have to have a willingness to play ball with your record label. You have to have a bend but don't break mentality with a lot of things, and you're gonna take a lot of L's. And it's a lot of like when people get that part of the game, you'll last long in the business versus somebody who's just, hey man, listen, no, I want it this way, and if you don't do it the way that I want to do it, then I don't want to do it. Well, you're gonna go end up in obscurity. You know what I mean? You're gonna be like, what happened to that? You're gonna fall into that. What happened to that boy category? You know what I mean? So the great thing about us is like we came in as humbly as we possibly could, and we tried to maintain some humbleness as much as we could. But it's virtually impossible for you to maintain the same amount of humbleness you came in with success, right? So the more successful we got, the more arrogant, the more cocky, the more confident we was in our skills. But we also tried to temper that with knowing that this could be better. We can always do better. And I think that was our motivating point. Not even the humbleness anymore. It was just really like, hey, we can always do better. And when you're striving to do better at the cost of, maybe you don't sing as much as you used to, and you may get somewhat jaded, because when we came up, man, the powers that be that were around us, and it wasn't Puffy at the time. It was the management and people that was around us at the time. When we were growing up, they made it feel like whatever we did wasn't good enough, was never good enough. And it did one of two things. It made us jaded to be in the music industry, but it also gave us a fire in us that said, listen, we can always try to be better, because in their minds, we ain't doing good enough. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a double-edged sword on that, man. So, but you're right. You're absolutely right, man. When I first got into business, I was singing every day, man. If you ask anybody that I ever dated the whole nine, I would sing more than I would talk. Like I'd be in the bathroom or whatever. I was like, can you hand me some toilet paper? Just getting on the nerves, man. Just completely getting on. Give me some pizza. You know what I'm saying? Can you stop singing? And so because that was the joy. That was the that was the naivete of being in the music industry in the beginning, man. But once you get into business, you start to get a little jaded, man. And I hate to, that's the word that keeps coming up, man. And so I guess that's the truth of it. But yeah, you get a little jaded with the whole business aspect of it, because you know you're supposed to get paid a little bit more than what they gave you, and you know that you're singing, you know, to a crowd that that may not appreciate what you've done, and you know, like they want you to sing a song that you really didn't like, and you know, it's like you start getting jaded in this business, man, and it gets to a point, man, where it got to a point where I couldn't even listen to 112 music no more, because I was always critiquing it. I was always, you know, it just reminded me of some bad stuff that had happened, and so it's that aspect. No, you're absolutely right, man. There was in the beginning, there was aspects, man. I was singing all day long, and as I got older and started to be more in it, I realized that the game changed me in a way that I don't appreciate music the way that I used to. I love it. It has given me an opportunity to take care of my families and put down a legacy that will last, you know, for generations. However, while I'm in it, sometimes it doesn't feel like that.
That's deep.
So I know in the group, we're looking at the setup or the lineup. Historically, it has been believed that Slim is the lead vocal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I hear this song, and when your voice comes through on Player, that
Right.
thing, to know that it's a kind of a love song, sort of.
Right.
But I was in church.
Right.
It was like, oh, the lead, no, y'all all could sing.
Right.
And to hear your voice and to hear the strength of that voice, man, how did a song like that come to be? And talk about like the construction of some of your other like songs that are like more popular, and like what kind of goes through your head when y'all putting down those vocals.
Right. Okay. So with Player, and it's funny that you talk about that, man, because we set up 112 to be a group with 4 lead singers. When we came to Puff, that was the concept that we came with, because to our knowledge, there had not been another group that had 4 lead singers. You know what I mean? You may have had groups that thought they had lead singers, but we all knew that we had come from lead singing frame of minds, but you know, we all sacrificed in order to put this group together. Puff initially was the one that said, hey, look, we know that all you guys can sing. However, Slim has the most distinctive voice out of you guys. And, you know, you can go sing all day long to your heart's content in church, but we trying to sell records. And what we want to do is identify the brand 112 with a sound. So as soon as you hear the sound, you know, you automatically associated with 112. We understood that, and we rolled with it, with the understanding that, okay, yeah, the singles can be Slim dominated, but the rest of the album has to be showcasing the rest of the group. And it kind of worked out that way. And everybody was, you know, for the most part, the first couple of records, everybody was satisfied. But the way that we did Player, fast forward, Deron and myself had a conversation where on that third album, we were very rebellious as far as the whole setup was concerned. You know what I mean? Like we just felt like it was time for a different change. It was changing regime, the whole status quo. We had to change all of that. And the one way that we knew that we could do that was to create records that showcased mine and his voice, because we felt like Slim, he was singing the leads, and we all understood that. And Q was getting a lot of the first like verses of songs and stuff, man, because he was a good setup man. And then Slim would be the guy that, you know, delivers. Like if you think of baseball, he was a good setup man, and then Slim would come in and hit the home run. But you know, even though Deron and myself, you still couldn't have a group or a team without the other two. We felt like we weren't being utilized as best as we possibly could. We felt like, and we put out a song here and Missing You and all those records that, you know, he and I sing on in the beginning, it would have legitimized us more so in the R&B aspect, not necessarily the pop aspect of it, which is what happened with our music. It went more into the pop direction versus the straight up R&B a la a Jagged Edge, you know, kind of zone. We would have fallen in that category. So he and I sat down one day. It's like, man, look, we just got to create a record that just you and me sing. You and me sing. You know what I mean? And we just got to make sure that we deliver it so well that they can't deny it whatsoever. And that's how Player, you know what I'm saying, kind of came about or whatever, man. So The intent, the mind frame and the intent was to just make this song one of the most soulful, because people were so used to Slim singing the leads that when we hit them with that curveball, they had forgotten. People literally had forgotten how well Deron and myself sang. So when we got them, he's like, man, who are these two new dudes y'all got in the group? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many times to this day, when I go out and sing Player Man, like people after the show or whatever, I got artists, I got people, you know, that I've been performing with for years that come up and be like, man, I did not know you could sing that well. I'm like, man, what do you think I've been doing for the last 24 years, man?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just weird, man. But I take it with stride or whatever. But yeah, the mind frame for us writing Player was the mentality was, man, just to outdo everybody, even the other two members of the group, you know, like just to out-sing everybody on this record. But it's one moment we're gonna show the world that, you know, nobody can really sing on the same level as he and I in our minds. So that's where the origin of that song took place. Now the song, the lyrical content, a lot of people swear on everything, man, that, you know, I wrote the song or whatever. Deron wrote the song, you know what I mean? But I was able to interpret it the way that, you know, it was interpreted because of the perceived church background that I had. You know what I mean? So I just went home and just studied a whole bunch of gospel music. I would listen to John P. Key. I would listen to, you know, Isaac Carey. I would listen to, you know, I would listen to James, what is it?
James Hall.
I would listen to James Hall. And I would just, you know, get all that grimy Southern gospel, and I, you know, I got it, you know, and then I just, you know, made it, you know, I just applied it to Player, and, you know, I actually sing it live a lot better than it is on the actual record. On the actual record, I'm a lot more tame, you know, but when I sing live, man, I just go for it, because I only have two switches. I'm either on or I'm off, you know what I mean? So I gotta go. So when I sing, man, so yeah, that the delivery on the record it's a culmination of knowing who I am now vocally. Because back then, I really didn't know. The first two albums, I really didn't know who I was vocally. And then once I started coming into my own around the third album, that's when I just started letting loose, man. And I just said, you know what, screw it. If they want me to be this church guy, then that's what I'm gonna be. And I'll be the soulful church guy in the group. And it's served me well, man. But that was the mentality, and like the lyrical content. We sung it as a love song, but honestly, the lyrical content is really messed up, bro. Like, when you listen to those lyrics, bro, it's like really messed up. It's like, you know, listen, what woman do you know in her right mind is gonna wait for you to stop playing? And, you know, so even if that's what she wants to do, she ain't gonna tell you that. You know what I mean? So that was, you know, but you know, we were just, you know, bold enough to say it. You know what I mean? And the thing was, we said to ourselves, bro, listen, if we gonna sing these lyrics, we better make them believe this. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, they're gonna be like, boy, if y'all don't get out of here with that. And but yeah, I think we succeeded.
Was there like any artists that you wish you could have collaborated with when the group was together? That you guys, you know, I know y'all did a lot of features and collabs, but any artists that you wish you could have collabed with? Absolutely.
I definitely would have. We were in talks of doing a record with Whitney Houston. When we went on tour with her back in '98, she, as a matter of fact, here's another funny story for you. So we had just finished performing, and we were opening up for her, and we had a section where the four of us would showcase our individual talents. So Slim would sing Babyface song, Q would sing Brian McKnight, Deron would sing Stevie Wonder, and I sang Donny Hathaway. And apparently she heard the Donny Hathaway, it's like, I guess she was going to a dressing room and she had heard me sing the Donny Hathaway record. And after the show, she pulled me to the side, and, you know, I was young at this point. She said, come here, little boy. And so I was like, oh, I'm in trouble. And then so I went over there to where she was, just all sheepish and stuff. I'm like, yes, Miss Houston. And she was like, that voice that you got, you need to be singing. And then she sung that the question is, will I ever leave you? The answer is no, 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 no. So she started singing that, and I harmonized with her and stuff. She was like, that's the song that we need to do. Wow. That's the song that she said we need to do it. So I was like, wait. You said we, right? So we were actually in the making of doing a record with Whitney Houston, and but it never really came to fruition. Our careers took off, and she went on and signed that big deal that she did with Clive Davis at the time and stuff, and the soundtracks and all that other stuff had started manifesting. So we never had an opportunity, but she was determined to do a record with us, man. I wish that we would have went ahead and done that record that she wanted. I mean, we was all signed to Arista, so it was easy.
Mm-hmm.
It was easy for us to do, but it just never manifested on her end or on our end, man. But I would have loved to have done a record with Whitney Houston. That's like one of the ones that her and Michael Jackson. I really feel like had we done a record with either one of those, man, like just for me, man, just to say that
Right.
Like it didn't even have to be, it didn't even have to do any kind of numbers, man. Just to know that I, with one of the greats, I was in the room with one of the greats. That would have been dope, man. But I think Whitney Houston is the first name that pops up, to me. And then outside of that is Kurt Cobain, but Whitney Houston, Kurt Cobain,
It's like which one would I choose, right?
Yeah. I would have loved to have done something with Kurt Cobain as well, because I'm actually a rocker, man. I actually grew up listening more rock music than I did R&B, man. Huh?
I said, who would have known?
I mean, if you spend like an hour around me, you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? You'll get it. You'll understand like why I am how I am, man. But it's like I'm a conundrum, man. It's crazy. Like I sing like a soulful R&B dude. Never really sung in church, and I love rock music. Who knew? You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. But Whitney Houston definitely.
So speaking of collabs, the last time I got to see you was at Foxwoods in Connecticut.
Right.
And you guys came out with Jagged Edge. Right. And y'all did a nice collab of each other's songs. The only time I've ever seen that live with another group was actually Earth, Wind & Fire in Chicago. Mm-hmm. So when I saw y'all did pretty much the same thing, and I was like, yo, y'all legends. Like, that's a legend move right there. And the love and the brotherhood, especially when, especially back in the day, all you heard was, 112 and Jagged Edge don't like each other. And then y'all team up and got a tour together, and we're waiting on an album, maybe a collab album. That'd be dope. But Versus. Yeah, listen, from me to you, if it was going on who won, y'all took it. Like, people probably was like, oh, Jagged gonna take it. Y'all took it. But it was also some technicalities, and y'all brothers, at the end of the day, we all won, really. Yeah. But how did that go for you? Like before and then doing it?
Man, listen, it was an amazing experience, man, because like you said, there was some technical difficulties, man, but overall I think that our message and our mission was accomplished, and which was to show the world that despite all of our past differences, Black men can come together and do something for the culture that was definitely needed at the time. No other people, like from my understanding, Timbaland and Swiss Beats, they didn't want anybody else to side with 112, and they didn't want anybody else to side with Jagged Edge. They wanted Jagged Edge and they wanted 112. For the simple fact that we have the history to make, for it all to make sense. Like you said, people were, my whole question was to the consumer, why is it that you had to choose between either groups? Like, why couldn't you be a fan of Jagged Edge and be a fan of 112? I'm a fan of Jodeci and Boyz II Men. You know what I'm saying? So why was it that you either had to be team Jagged Edge or team 112? I never understood that, because you end up listening to the same, you listen to the music anyway. But I understood it. This is what was so satisfying to me and Slim. The fact that 2 weeks, that y'all won't be privy to it, but it goes back to what I was talking about people being able to accept, be accessible to you, and you being accessible to people in the whole nine. For 2 weeks prior to the actual versus battle, we heard so much vitriol. It's just so much negative press about the fact it's only two of y'all, and Jagged's gonna kill y'all with all y'all hits and with all of their hits, and 112 was popping. The only records that they had were Cupid and Peaches and Cream, and all this other stuff, man. So it felt so good, bro, to know that Billboard and Revolt TV had judged 112 as the winners of that versus. You know what I mean? So this ain't even nothing that we feel. This ain't nothing that our fans feel. This was something that when people of authority that knows music, you know, when they judged the whole thing, because they were judging it as it went down. And, you know, Billboard gave it to 112. Revolt TV gave it to 112. Swiss Beats was like, yo, like 112 had the better show. You know what I'm saying? The better, they gave us the interaction, you know, our interaction with it. And we were dropping bombs and, you know, throwing Grammys and Ciroc. You know, it was just, man, it was just an overall great feeling, man, because for years, we had been hearing for years that Jagged Edge was the better group than 112. We've heard it for years. Now, we knew in our heart of hearts, and we felt in our heart of hearts, that couldn't nobody, and I know that's a double negative, but couldn't nobody stand on the same stage with 112 vocals. We knew that in our heart of hearts. And we felt like there are a lot of artists that feel the same way, but you know, they got to hold on to whatever it is they holding on to. And if the world, especially Black America, is saying, hey man, you know, Jagged's the better group, then that's what the world is gonna believe. We felt like, man, that was, you know, it was lopsided in their favor. You know, if anything, that's the most nicest PC way I could say it. We felt like the energy from Black people was that they felt Jagged Edge was the better group. Not, you know, and I don't think it was based off of vocal ability or anything like that, or the amount of awards we won and all this other stuff, man. I felt like it was because of the R&B records that they had versus the pop records, the crossover records that we had. With 112 soundtrack and our resume was more up tempo, mid, and theirs were more ballad heavy, which is, I guess, Black folk love ballads more than they love up tempo records or whatever, man. So that was nothing more gratifying than to know that there were people out there that actually looked at it as if we was actually, you know, being showboaty and actually showing out. And it's like, I seen something on Instagram where they were saying, man, how did Jagged get bodied by two dudes and an interlude? You know what I mean? Like, that was kind of stuff, like, kind of stuff that I enjoy seeing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't necessarily feel like that because I'm a fan of Jagged and I love Jagged. And and as a result of that, we've been going on tour with these guys for over 2 years, you know. So but it felt good, man, to know that people actually listen to our music and reminisce and remember. Because the thing for us is, because we've been out since 1996, they forgot about Only You. They forgot about It's Over Now. They forgot about Peaches and Cream. They forgot about Dance With Me. They forgot about Cupid. They forgot about Player. They forgot about all, you know, all the record we did with Big, Sky's the Limit, Missing You, you know, I'll Be Missing You. And man, we just had you know, it was just the legacy, man. And we knew once we started playing these records, a lot of people were gonna be like, oh, I forgot the boys had that record. Oh, I forgot. Oh, now you remember. Now you remember. Last time I heard the record we had with Peaches and Cream and Cupid. Now you remember all these other records anywhere. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, bro. Like, so that's what, the only thing that we ask for everybody, in particular our people, is just be fair. Do your homework, do your research, and be fair about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just because Cupid and Peaches and Cream are the only songs that pop in your head. Like, we started it off with Only You. You know what I mean? Like, that was a record that was setting records back in the day, man. So, you know, that's the mentality that we had, man. But it was something. It was, bro. I've had gratifying moments in my career, but the Verzuz was one of the most gratifying experiences I've had, for that simple fact that people believed that Jagged Edge was just gonna destroy 112's career, destroy our resume, like as if we hadn't been doing it for 24 years. You know what I mean? So that was the most gratifying thing, man. That was some sweet victory right there, bro. Sweet.
While we're on records, that you guys have so many classics. What was that one, Mike, that actually stuck with you, that resonated with you over the years, or whichever record it is that you guys done?
Only You. The only You. And okay. I say that because Only You was that record that started it all off. You know what I mean? Do you remember the 5 Heartbeats?
Yeah. Yep. He talk about this all the time on the road. I've seen it. Tons of times. Yeah.
When they was in the bed, everybody was asleep, and then their sister came in there like, "Yo, I'm hitting the record on it." And everybody, that actually happened to us, man. We were actually in the house. We were in the SSL room. I think putting Cupid together or something like it. We was one of those significant records that we were doing, and the secretary at Daddy's house, she heard the record because she knew the record because she had been hearing it as much as we had, and Hot 97 was playing. You know what I mean? So Hot 97 played it, and then it started boom, 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 boom. we went crazy. She went in there, she was like, yo, your song is on the radio, B. And we ran in there, man, and she turned the radio up, man, and we just lost our minds, bro. And then they dropped a bomb on, ran it back again, man. It's like, it's a hit if they run it back again. You know what I mean? So it was just that record was symbolic, man, because it took us 19 years to create that first album. You did, where all these other albums, it was like, yeah, that was cool or whatever, but it took us 19 years to create that first album. You know what I'm saying? 19 years of experience, 19 years of growing, 19 years of going through, like no other album had that kind of energy, so we, I think that one just set it off. Only You definitely set it off for us, man. Like that's the one that if anybody ever said anything about, man, like, and we didn't even like Only You at first. That was the crazy thing.
Wow.
Because we was R&B singers. So our mentality was, man, they ain't gonna take us serious, man. Like we singing over there, like we ain't showing everybody all the skills, we ain't showing them all the ad-libs, all the riffs and all this other stuff. And Pooh had to sit down and explain it. It's like, yo, man, you gotta look at this, and I'm sure Ty, you understand it, like as a singer too, bro. Like you gotta look at a song like if you're in a club and you're trying to sing to a girl, how would you sing to it? Would you go all in her ear and you can't really sing, or would you go, girl, I want to be with you,
Right?
No one else. Simple. Only you. Like how? Like which message do you think is gonna come across? You drinking, she drinking, the music loud, and you just singing along. Which one do you feel like is gonna convey what you really want to have about? Only you, or you singing, just riffing all the way through, a song or whatever, man. Like and then you can't sing. So that's especially if you can't sing. So that was the mindset that we had to have when we did our up-tempo records, man. It was just like sing the song as if you're drunk in the club and you're trying to holler at somebody. How would you sing that in her ear? That's basically that was the simplicity of Only You, of Peaches and Cream, all the up-tempo records that we did. Just simple.
Dope.
So y'all got history, and so I have to hit you with, y'all are now, even though it's just y'all two 112, I've heard y'all been called 56, half of 112.
Right.
Other two members, they're out there. In the future, can you see potentially getting back together at all? Do you see that?
I've lived long enough on this planet to never say never. So for me, that door will always be open. But I will say that there's a caveat to that. The business aspect of it will have to be different, because it won't be. I will say this: it won't be an equal situation anymore. You know what I mean? Like as far as the business aspect of it goes, only because Slim and myself has dedicated our time, our money, and just to build this brand and keep the brand going. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it would be unfair for it to be a four-way situation, because we're feeling nostalgic. You know what I mean? But that's a business. That would be something business-wise
Right.
that we would have to talk about on it. Like, of course, if we on the stage, we ain't gonna be, have them in the background nowhere. We up in the front. Now it wouldn't be like that. Like we wouldn't give y'all that. Slim and Mike, and these are the 112s. Now we wouldn't give you that. But that was something that, because it's a business. Again, the thing that we've been speaking about is being the music business. And so, like I said, Slim and myself, we've invested a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of energy into rebranding this into 112. And we've been doing it for the last 2 years. So like it wouldn't make a lot of sense for us to just allow them to come back without there being some kind of contractual obligations that they would have to see in order to make that happen. But Slim and I have always contended that the door for that will always be open. However, it has to be done in the right way. It won't just be because we're brothers and we're just going out there. Now, no, this is the music business. This is the music business. So again, to answer your question more directly, again, I will never say never. However, there has to be some things in place contractually that they would have to be obligated to in order for me to see that happen.
I could dig it. I definitely understand the sentiment coming from you. And then as a fan, you know how some people, their fanness, it overwhelms anything else, and they don't care what you're saying. They need to group back together, or they need to pick sides and all that. For me, it's definitely hard to pick sides, especially with me telling you, like, my song is Player. It's like, need to hear the yin and the yang of the song, you know, that fullness of you, but also that high note of Duran, you know. And so I purposely, I'm not picking sides or anything like that. I don't have like the favorites except for you two.
right. No, but no,
because vocally, that's what I'm saying. But like, I respect the fact that so I seen a flyer for one of the shows, and I'm like, they replaced the two dudes. What? Why they replace Q and Duran? And then, oh no, those is dancers. Yeah. I get it. I feel it. Okay. And then when I seen them come out and they do their thing, I was like, okay, it's different, but at the same time, it's not. It's out of, I don't know if it's out of respect for the group or just for the legacy or whatever it is. The dancers. What could you talk about that real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to talk about the point that you made. Listen, man, we're not telling anybody, man, that they should take sides or not, pay to still be fans of Q and Duran. Like, absolutely, like, you're gonna be a fan of them regardless. You know what I mean? You're gonna be a fan. We can't take away 24 years of a legacy. You know what I mean? And we're not gonna try to, man. Like, we know that there's people who are diehard Q fans, that are diehard Duran fans. You know what I'm saying? So forth and so on, man. And we want you to continue being that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll never try to take that aspect away from you. What we were trying to do is keep the legacy. What we're doing is keeping the legacy moving forward. You know what I mean? Those dudes decided to make a decision and they walked away. That's, I wish the story was sexier, but it really ain't. They just decided to go in a different direction, man. And we talked to them, we begged them, we pleaded with them, don't do it, and this, that, and the third. But their minds were just set on what they were set on. And who am I to tell? If the Most High is telling you to go in a direction, who am I to tell you otherwise? So, and nobody's a bigger fan of 112 than I am. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Slim, but like, nobody's a real, So when that happened, trust me, I was just as disappointed as everybody else was. However, we knew that we still had something to prove, and we still felt like we had something to give and contribute to the music industry, man. But we knew that if we tried to replace Q and Duran, or we tried to, do something other than just having those two dudes coming out and dancing, then we felt like the good energy and the sweat equity that we did have at 112 would be, kind of thrown to the side, man, because people, like you said, people are you got some diehards that were like, absolutely, positively, no new members, no dancers. We don't want none of that stuff. It ain't all for y'all. We don't want it. But I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to live? But okay, I understand you, the few of you that's saying that. But we did not want to put anybody else in the group because we knew that to us it would feel like we were trying to make you guys forget about the 24 years of legacy that we had with the mother dudes. You know what I mean? So we didn't want to try to take that away. It was so much turmoil going on, man, and it was so tumultuous, and everything was happening so fast. We just wanted to make sure that to these promoters that we had shows with still, that they still had a 4-man group on stage performing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, of course, when they saw the dancers, Dooney and Dre, immediately, they got two new members of the group, and this is crazy, and this ain't 112, and yada yada yada. But then when they calmed down and they realized what was actually happening, they were like, oh, okay, like you said, it's different. I mean, Slim still sounds like Slim. Mike still sounds like Mike when he sings his song. The song still sounds the same. They just got some dancers. Oh, okay, cool. They ain't got no mics in their hands. Okay, we're good. You know what I mean? And that's, how it has, transformed since then, man. Like, trust me, in the beginning, we caught all kind of hell, man. We caught all kind of grief and hell, but people thought that we was replacing them guys. And honestly, if we did replace those guys, it would be with some two well-known artists. You know what I mean? Like, it would be somebody who, was already established, who already had a fan base, because we just wouldn't bring anybody else in. It would have to be somebody who already had the fan base, who already, could come in and add to this, So, but we never wanted to really go in that route either. Not saying that we may or may not somewhere down in the, future tense or whatever. That's still something that's open. But we just really never wanted to put anybody else in the group. We wanted to maintain Slim and myself, had the two dancers, and then just keep it moving.
That's dope, man. Like, so I just want to ask in regards to you and Slim, I feel like, with that relationship, it goes beyond the music. When a lot of times you can't, you don't really have that, especially when, you part ways with the group or something like that. People, just go off by themselves and do their own thing. But you and Slim maintain that relationship. So just, that's more symbolic to me with the loyalty and trust that you guys have and that brotherhood. So,
Sure.
I like that perspective on, what's your perspective on like brotherhood and staying true to that person that, can stick with you, especially through the business that the music business, period.
Absolutely. If you can maintain loyalty and a brotherhood after after 2 decades of doing anything in life, you got yourself a real one. You got yourself a real one. And throughout it all, and Slim and I are not perfect by any measure of the word. However, we complement each other. We've always have. We've always been the two silliest dudes. We've always been the ones that rode for the brand more than anybody else. The brand just, man, I'm not even saying that because, it's just us two or whatever, but like, it really, like when the group broke up, man, Slim was in tears, bro. You know what I mean? And because it just meant that much to him, because Slim is a very family oriented person, and family means everything to this dude, man. And family means everything to me, man. But, just, I've always been looked at as the younger, older brother. Like one of the youngest, but I was always come across as one of the older, statesmen in the group or whatnot, man. And people always, like, the guys always came to me with their issues and things of this nature. So I felt like I was the father protecting, his kids, so to speak, in that sense, if that's the best analogy I have. But I was the protector. I was the one that stood out in front of, took the bullet for anybody, anything. When Puff wanted to cuss us out, he cussed me out. You know what I mean? Because, I was just that one. So, I was trying to protect the brand. And Slim just didn't want to hear it, man. He was just like, yo, man, like this hurts so bad. And I was like, bro, I know, but that shows the level of dedication and how much 112 meant to see. For y'all, we're a singing group. For us, it's a way of life. You know what I'm saying? So, I wake up, eat, sleep, breathe, sweat, 112. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may think about 112, you may not for the day. You may go a whole month without even thinking about 112. I think about this every day. So this is a way of life. This is a lifestyle. It's tattooed on both sides of my neck. So I believe in this. You know what I'm saying? Just the way that a Crip and a Blood believe in their game. You know what I'm saying? I believe in mine. So yeah, it hurts when when you lose brothers and, supposed brothers and it definitely hurts. That brotherhood, because the brotherhood kept us going in a lot of places when we didn't feel like, going on. That brotherhood at the time, man, made me feel like, you know what, bro, I'm gonna do this for him because he believes in it. I'm doing this for him because, and so when that turns out to not be the case in certain instances, man, it really does hurt. I'd be lying if I said it didn't hurt. But like, again, if you have somebody that will love and protect you over 2 decades, in spite of and in spite of and despite of all of your bads, your imperfections, your misgivings, the whole nine, man. If you find somebody that can still ride with you after that, you got a good one. And I think I got a good one in Slim, and I feel he feels the same way with me.
What kind of plans you got coming up for the future? Knowing, like, with the coronavirus, how y'all was on the road, and then
Man,
how changed the game for you, and what you got planned coming up?
Man, listen, bro. We December. What we'll do is, like, we've already, for the most part, had conversations with promoters for the next year, and when I tell you, we had shows lined up from January until December of 2020. Bro, we was like, bro, we ain't never going back home, and that's the way we like it. We're going overseas. We're going like Australia, the UK, with Jagged Edge, and Germany, and it was just, we were going all over the place, man. We weren't gonna come home anytime soon, and that's just the way we like it. When that Corona hit, man, it just That Corona, bro, that thing took us all out, man. And I felt like when I first started seeing it, I'm like, oh, okay, well, a couple of promoters that they're backing out. That's understandable. And then all of a sudden, like that was on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, it just the whole industry just shut down, man. And I was done, bro. I was like, man, what am I gonna do for the next? And at this time, that was February. No, that was March. I'm sorry, that was March when that went down. So, you know, man, listen, 9 more months to go, at that time. So it was just really crazy, man. It's been a crazy time. Financially, I'm in a good spot. So, I wasn't really worried about that, man. But that's not really what drives me anyway, man. It's the fact that I'm a performer and I love going out. I love touring. I love traveling. And to not be able to do that, man, and not do what you do naturally, it just drove me. I'm not even gonna front, man. It drove me crazy, man. I'm sure I got on everybody that was around me. I got on their nerves, man. Something fierce. I know it. So, I've been hearing since everything was starting to open back up. August, they were trying to ramp things back up, man. But I'm also hearing now that that there's going to be a second wave of Corona happening again, and in August. And so, I at this point, man, I don't know. I'm just hoping that the good Lord will just hurry up and just get 2020 over with, man, so we can go on to 2021, man. Because I'm like, okay, we at the halfway mark now. It's June, baby. You know what I'm saying? We got 6 more to go. You know what I mean? And but yeah, that's all anybody can do at this point, man. It's we've been recording this EP, and it's called 112 Forever Slim and Mike, and the new single is entitled Spend It All. It was supposed to be released June 5th. However, we felt like due to all the civil unrest that were going on, and we felt like the one thing that we needed to do was keep the message tight and congruent, and not muddy the waters with trying to promote, a single, which would have been more. It would focus on us rather than focus on us as a whole. So I just felt like, man, we just felt like for us to just fall back for a second and let the process happen, as far as like with the police injustices and what's happening with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and Tamir. It's so many I can't even really name them. Man. Yeah, it just felt like June 5th wasn't the time for us to be trying to sell a product to y'all. You know what I mean? So we pushed it back a couple of days, a couple of weeks rather, and with the hope that not that necessarily that it dies down, but enough reform has happened to where people feel like we can have some normalcy, so we can start going back and enjoying some of the little things that we enjoy doing, like music, because we're not politicians. Slim and myself are not politicians. We will call things out when we see it. If I see BS, I will call it. However, I'm not smarter people. We leave that up for smarter people in that field. I'm a musician, and I'm also a purveyor of love, and what I feel we can contribute to what's going on in the world today is promote love and promote protecting our queens. You know what I mean? Especially these Black women right now, man. We have to protect them. I have 2 queens myself, my 2 daughters. And they're growing up in a time, man, that's uncertain. And I just would like to leave them with the legacy and the mind frame, knowing that their old man cared enough that he showed love when the rest of the world wanted him to crack somebody's head open. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of message that that I want to leave, man, with mine, especially my daughters, man. So yeah, but the EP is coming out in July. I haven't said all of that, so I've noticed kind of I went a little deep, but the EP is coming. It's entitled 112 Forever Slim and Mike, and I'm just really excited about this, man. We recorded a record yesterday that was like one of the most challenging things in all my 24 years of singing. This is like one of the most challenging records that we ever did, man. And I can't wait for you guys to hear this record, because I had to go out of my comfort zone. Like I'm an opera singer, and by profession, I'm a professional opera singer. But this was something that was just totally left of what I'm accustomed to. And this record, it's dope, bro. But it's so weird and it's so different from what I'm accustomed to, man. So I can't wait for you guys to hear that. And the EP has 6 records on it, man. And these are some of the 6 greatest record. And y'all know, man, Ty, you know, man, like when people say EP, you almost want to say it's a watered down version of an album. We didn't want to look at it like that. We wanted to look at this is the continuation of the legacy that is 112. The last album that we gave y'all was Q Mike's on the Run, and then this next album is going to be 112 Forever Slim and Mike. So that's, you know, that to us, it's the only reason why it's an EP is because there's 6 songs on it. So, but yeah, we're excited about that. And we're very excited about this new single, man. To Spend It All, man. And like, we've been getting rave reviews. We wish we could have dropped it right with right after Versus, man. But, you know, basically what was going on, man, we felt like it was just best that we, you know, hold off on it, man. We still feel like it's going to do well, very well, as a matter of fact. And, you know, we look forward to getting that out.
Well, I mean, you pretty much covered just about everything we wanted to talk to. So I think it's time to
play that game, baby.
The trivia. So
let's do it.
This is the portion of the BKS experience where we call it the pull your card experience. All right. So we're gonna see how well you've done. We've hit many celebrities with this, with the hip hop edition, but we're gonna hit you with the R&B edition, and we're gonna see how you fare against them. All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
These is multiple choice questions, so hopefully you get them right. And if you don't, we're gonna pull that R&B card. But you probably be okay with that now that you opera and rock. All right. So, which New Edition song introduced us to the new member Johnny Gibb? Is it A, Can You Stand the Rain? B, Count Me Out? C, Hit Me Off? Or D, If It Isn't Love?
Can You Stand the Rain?
No.
Oh.
They came out with If It Isn't Love first.
No, let me ask you this though. You say introduced, you mean like visually or you mean sonically?
Uh-oh.
See, I'm going by what it says on my card.
You can't answer it.
But
okay, we gonna count over the do-over. We gonna count over the do-over because I'm going by, you know, his introducing him sonically because that was Any Heartbreak, and that was Any Heartbreak. But
right.
You
know, they get practicing. They sitting on the floor, and you know, Brooke Payne says,
absolutely. I know the steps, bro. I know the whole. Let's start over, man. Start over. That was a warm up.
Okay, that was a warm up. Let me give you that one. All right, here we go.
I need that mulligan.
Okay. The supergroup Black Men United sang the song You Will Know, which was featured on the Jason's Lyrics soundtrack and written by this musician. Is it A, Bilal, B, D'Angelo, C, Dwele, or D, Raphael Sadiq?
I want to say it's between D'Angelo and Raphael Sadiq. D'Angelo.
You're correct.
Go, hey.
Woo! Come on, baby.
You got that redemption. Okay. All right, here we go. I know you know this, and if you don't,
something wrong.
The cast of A Different World sang this song on the show's series finale. A, Celebration by Kool and the Gang. B, End of the Road by Boyz II Men. Or C, I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
B, End of the Road.
Correct.
2-0. Okay. All right.
All right, here we go. Who is Anthony Hamilton talking about when he says, woke up this morning, found a letter that she wrote. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go. She says she's tired, that I'm always on the road. Is it A, Charlene, B, Lucille, C, Michelle, or D, Tanya?
Charlene.
Come on now.
Yeah, come on, man. You had that.
He got that.
All right, and this is the last one. Okay? So you got all the other ones, minus the mulligan, correct? Let's see.
I need a specificity on that one, bro. I need a specificity. You didn't say visually.
We give him a pass for that one.
It was Love at First Sight is the first line of this song released in 1999.
Come on, man. Come on. Don't do that. Don't
you
do
better
that.
not get this wrong.
Love at first sight.
What?
I know From the way she looked. I was in the room when he wrote it, bro. I was in the room when he wrote it. Carl Thomas.
Carl Thomas. I didn't even have to read them off. It made no sense. I had to hit you with a bad boy one. I had to hit you. But you got all of those right except the beginning. So you keep your R&B card. Maybe next time I'm gonna hit you with the hip hop one.
Exactly. We'll do hip hop, baby. Like Big L, bro.
You gotta get the hip hop next time, definitely.
Dun 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 Michael Key. Da 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 da. Yeah.
Well, I personally, I thank you so much for this on behalf of the BKS Experience. I wish you many blessings in everything that you got going on, that you will do. Just keep doing your thing. I'm looking forward for that EP. Ed, you got anything you want to say?
Yo, all love, man. Appreciate your time, energy, man. This was dope. You shared a lot of things that I didn't know. And again, man, we just hope to stay connected and build, man. Peace and love.
Blessings, bro. Thank y'all so very much, man. You please follow me on Instagram and follow 112 on Instagram, the official 112 on Instagram. And you can follow me personally at Michael Keith of 112, MICHAELKEITH of 112. I'm also an advocate for the Lupus Foundation. Please, if you can support the Lupus Foundation, if you can. My mother is the one that suffers from lupus. Women of color ages 18 to 45 are the ones that are most susceptible to this autoimmune disease that attacks the major organs in the body. We have got to get more awareness out because the eventuality of it is, man, we got to find a cure. I would love to find a cure, man. Just keep your ears to the street, man, when it comes to 112. 112 forever, baby. Look out for that new EP. Slim and Mike, 112 forever, Slim and Mike. Thank y'all so very much. New single, Spend It All, coming soon. Thank y'all.